You guys?
Nice to meet you as well. I'm gonna give the heads up for you and everyone who ends up watching this. There's theoretically construction happening right outside my window right now. Of course.
And of course,
All
they're
right. I'm
noisy.
I'm I'm none the wiser. I cannot hear it, so I think we're good.
You will in a minute.
Don't worry. When it starts, you'll hear it. Because it was starting while I was out of the room, and that's like, of course, right when this starts.
Mhm.
But my first question is, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. That's a great first question. How are you?
I I'm doing well. How about you, Smitch?
I'm good. What is your name?
Yes, my name is Isaac.
Hi, Isaac. I'm Smooch.
Is that Saint you, Isaac? I'm Elroy. That kind of,
Elroy,
oh,
Smooch,
And,
so
and Sammy.
hi.
and Sammy.
Mm,
And besides, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit to the audience? Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
trying to not
sure.
have my dog try.
Yeah, I'm assuming I shall introduce myself in the same reason why we are speaking today about yeah, my name is Isaac Joseph, and I am the writer, future director, and producer for the Bray Wyatt inspired feature film I'm trying to do. It's not a Bray Wyatt movie. It is a movie inspired by him. Ergo, WWE cannot sue me for such things.
Yay.
But yeah, it's my latest venture in my filmmaking career, and it's very exciting yet very anxiety inducing. But here we are.
We love Bray Wyatt.
He,
He's great. He's great.
Yes. I like the fun house and his puppets.
I feel like the factor that we're both on screen probably illustrates that point very well.
In case you didn't know, I like the buzzard.
My favorite is
Yeah.
Mercy.
Abby. How about you?
Out of those, I I love Mercy the Buzzard
See?
or
Ha.
Huskus the Pig Boy.
Mm, you're not a pig. You're a monkey.
Says you.
Yes, we love him.
De- Definitely is the. I'm gonna assume the answer is pretty well, but I'm gonna ask anyway. What's like your first like major experience when you were getting into watching wrestling?
My first major experience getting into watching wrestling. Okay. So actually, um, I don't know how old you are, Sammy, but I am an older individual. I won't call myself an old man in this situation, but I have been watching probably for a long time before Bray Wyatt was even a name in WWE. My first memory, see, it's kind of funny and kind of funky at the same time. My first memories of pro wrestling, anything, started with the action figures and then the video games and then watching TV, right? And so I kind of knew a little bit of everything before I even started watching. But um, one of my early fascinations with the product was the big show, because I feel like every little boy dreams of just being gigantic, and then this guy being 7 feet tall, it's like, whoa. And so, yeah, classic guys like the Big Show and the Undertaker, and even the Great Khali a little bit. I was like, whoa, those guys are giant.
When I was little, I used to watch it with my grandma, and she used to like that Bruno San Martino, and she would scream and yell and swear and fight and get so mad at everybody that would hit him. She was
Bruno
crazy.
San Martino. That's a crazy pull. That's like a real wrestling fan pull right there. That's nice.
My my like knowledge base is a little bit more patchwork, I almost would say, because I started actually watching the product in 2020, but for me it was like, when they would do the John Cena that it became most like the popular meme.
Yeah, yep. He's
My
associated with a lot of those. Yeah.
my knowledge is that this is the area where the Rock came from, and then
Yeah.
I watched some like it's the Alexa Bliss promo where she first talks to Nikki after fully going Funhouse. It's like the first promo I ever saw on TikTok. I'm like, what's this?
That's awesome. Yeah. Um, I like that you joined in 2020 and you stuck it out because that was a pretty rough year for not just wrestling but a lot of people. But it took a couple years to really get back to a really good product. Funny enough, I actually stopped watching wrestling when I was 14, and I jumped back in the same year that you started in 2020,
Is that
and took a lot of faith and trust in the product to keep watching because the first I remember the first promo that I saw when I came back to the product, which was Bobby Lashley wanting a divorce, and I'm like, what has happened? You know, it's a weird time, a weird time.
but I had my timeline wholly messed up in my brain because I was waiting for you to say like the suckering suffrage Roman promo there for a second.
No,
I'm like,
no,
yeah,
no.
fair.
Did not have the honor of seeing that one live, but I will
Neither did
say,
I.
Bray Wyatt he did play a big part in why I came back to the product and why I started enjoying the product again. So,
That's the same for you. You loved him.
I like the best like if we have pro wrestling outside, like say it was I'm out of the room, we have to do something like I'm gonna use Raw even though I'm pretty sure he was on SmackDown by the Funhouse point if I'm right. You know those memes of the kids that would come running when they hear Cocomelon?
oh
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
you would my brain would do the exact same thing when I heard the Funhouse music and would just come running into the room like Bray Wyatt's on, Bray Wyatt's on, Bray Wyatt's on. To put my
Yeah.
mom maybe shocked I didn't run through a door at some point.
Mhm.
That was an awesome promo series. Very, very cool, unique series. And that could have gone as long as, I don't know, twice as it did, and still felt really cool and fresh. But uh, yeah, yeah. Bray Wyatt, he, John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton are the reasons why I watched as a kid. Bray Wyatt is what kept it interesting as an adult, is how I would probably say it for myself. But yeah, Sammy,
And
how
then
old are you?
I am 20.
20? Okay. So you would have been what, 14 during the Firefly Funhouse stuff?
I, you're better at math than I
That
am.
was about 6 years ago. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
she
Cool.
liked that.
Hilariously
I
enough,
love
you were
that.
around for it.
I did. I loved all of it. We liked that Alexa Bliss too. The
I
best one
Alexa Bliss was
ever.
dope.
and I I am gonna ask a couple of like non-wrestling themed questions, but when I because I had saw that when looking down on your Instagram, you had used to do views with cosplayers and wrestlers. What inspired that decision, if you don't mind me asking?
Ooh, that might have been a deeper cut. Good on you for that research right there. I
It's a
don't even
short
remember
one.
when I said that. But yeah, I've always been a man of many hats, literally and figuratively. I journalism, the art of writing articles and interviewing people has always been an interest of mine. It started in sports, actually. Stephen A. Smith talking crazy about football players, back when I was 14, and obviously the pandemic shifted everything because sports was not a thing anymore. And I was like, what do I do now? And then it switched to storytelling, and some of our best storytellers are in pro wrestling. Um, and so it's come in different forms. I did a quick interview with Dolph Ziggler once. I did a quick interview with a lot of voice actors when we do the gambit for like conventions, comic book conventions, and stuff like that around the Midwest. Um, but Yeah, I don't really know why I'm blanking on a lot of people, but I've definitely talked to a lot of people. Matt Cardona is like on my wish list, but that that I've tried multiple times. He's a hard one to get. Tell you what, he's very particular about what he allows to be on the internet. Let's just say
Hmm.
that.
He's very controlling of his
Image.
image, which
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
blame him. So,
totally understandable. Yeah.
but and
Well, you met Sting once.
and Darby, but that was a
Yeah,
still
that's
stay con.
yeah, Darby.
Hey, that's cool. My buddy, he's met Sting multiple times.
He's a
I've
very
been
nice
at
man.
Izzy.
He's very nice.
He seems pretty cool.
I I don't want to crack the joke on Steel City Con, but I feel like I have to at this point. Have most of the cons everybody's been to ever managed to underestimate how many people are going to show up to meet Sting?
Ooh, probably, honestly.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Yeah,
long line.
yeah.
because they have
I
a convention room. Ours at and they had him in a separate room. Their line was all the way through the whole entire meet and greet hall.
Yeah, he stayed later to sign all the autographs because they couldn't get him all in.
Oh wow, that's a stand-up class act kind of guy right there.
Yes, he was.
But
Sorry
yeah,
for cutting
I
you off.
oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I I was at a few of these conventions that he was also at. I've never been a true Sting fan, so it's like one of those situations where it's like, oh, if I go and get a picture, it's like I'd feel like a phony because I never watched a single match of his. But he is a cool guy, my friend. He would always come back after like an hour and a half. Hey man, that line was crazy. Oh man, maybe even longer than that. But yeah, a popular cat, that's for sure.
Yes, he was. Well, what the other one you met? The devil one.
The devil. We met what? Oh, Danhausen.
Dan.
I was like, what's devil one?
Ah.
I'm like 3 seconds from saying Gold does there. Which one? Who are you thinking of?
Yeah, we liked him too. He's tiny.
Danhausen as the devil one. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, she can be I'll say
I am
funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Danhausen's cool. So you guys have met Danhausen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we
What was
liked
that
him
like?
too.
He
He was nice.
he's nice. They had their line a lot more controlled.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Danhausen's definitely more niche of an audience for sure.
And I also saw one of your short films you did called The Marketplace. Can you tell me what your favorite part of filming that was, or what the inspiration for that
You
was?
found Marketplace. You
He
watched
does
it.
research.
You watched it?
Yes.
That is impressive because I have tried my best for it to not be available publicly anywhere. That's wow. Good job.
What if you
We
don't
might have
mind
to
telling me
talk
what the
about how you
inspiration
found that
was
out.
over my dog?
Uh, okay. Oh man, that's incredible. That's really cool that you watched that. So obviously it's not perfect. It's got a few things that you got to tinker with. Um, Most of all, I think the biggest thing that I need to work on is post production. Find the right sound guy, find the right lighting team, and find the right editing because after two short films, we have experienced lost footage in both of them. And yeah, those are some things that we need to work on. But you asked me my inspiration on Marketplace.
Yes.
Okay, so I think a lot of really good stories is based off of hypotheticals. What would happen if, right? Um, you know, People think Facebook Marketplace is just like the wild west of online shopping. It's like very unpredictable, all sorts of characters, all sorts of people. Is this still available? And then that being just like iconically the most annoying text you can ever get as a seller. But once upon a time, I think I was selling like Adventureland tickets, and the girl that bought him off me, I was like, oh, she's kind of cute. But wouldn't it be super stupid to just be like, hey, what's up? You know, like try to rizz her up in the transaction. Like, I know that socially that would be inappropriate. But what if I wrote a story about a guy dumb enough to go through and try to find a girlfriend that way, you know? And I think that was going to be the hypothetical behind that one, and just let your source of real world experience and logic connect with your source of creativity and how that creativity would be introduced to the real world, you know? And that's how I stumbled upon a story like Marketplace.
Did you ask her out?
No, no,
No. I thought
no,
this was gonna be
no,
like a happy ever after story.
no real asking outs in the process of this film or inspired in this film. Um, Simply because I tend to myself in such manner. I believe, as for me, something like that will come to me, not through Facebook Marketplace.
You're awesome.
I, I do have another semi deep cut question, but it was kind of a I didn't get enough time to look fully into it, so you might have to give me some of the context. I saw you
You're good.
did a vlog at the Uncanny Experience.
You know about the uncanny experience.
Not much, sadly.
It's okay. It's okay. What? So I guess first, tell me what all do you know about the uncanny experience?
Because I saw that it seemed to be very X-Men inspired, if I'm correct.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's actually a huge uh convention in Minneapolis, held once a year. It's been around for only 3 years. This coming year is going to be the third year, or not the fourth year. Sorry. Um, and last summer was my first time going there. I've been wanting to go since its conception. It's very cool. It's like they take you to like this old museum like building that kind of looks like the Xavier School, you know? And you kind of just pretend that you're taking a long weekend of getting educated as a mutant. You know, you can cosplay, you can, just dress up normal if you like, but there's a lot of cool characters there. Actually, thanks for asking about that. I actually did a couple interviews there with the director of the original cartoon for X-Men, and I did another interview with the writers and showrunners of the original cartoon for the X-Men.
Wow.
Yeah, those guys are really friendly, really nice. And I could not recommend enough what the Uncanny Experience is as a whole. Tickets sell fast, so if you want to go on their website, see if you want to go, you can look into that as soon as you possibly can. Because yeah, 10 out of 10. Love that event. And the people who run the event are sweethearts as well. That is Dylan and Dylan's husband. I forget what his name is. It's leaving me right now. I look so bad. I've met him multiple times. But yeah, those two guys and their other friend. They do a great job of running that.
That sounds like fun. We should go. You should take me there.
Is Where is that located usually? Because I didn't happen to keep a location when I was looking at it.
It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, it is in the heart of Minneapolis. I could not tell you the exact address, but yeah, if you book any major hotel in Minneapolis, I mean, at least in the downtown area part, you're able to just walk to the establishment every morning and just kick off the day, like I did with my friend, who I went with. So,
Hmm, I don't know. I think it would be fun, but is it scary there now?
is it scary there? Only if you have a little bit of social anxiety and making new friends, like I do
Okay.
sometimes, you know. Um, but other than that, it's not scary at all. The amount of people can be overwhelming sometimes, but
Yeah.
every single person there has your best interest in you having a good time. So When
Yay,
in doubt, just
fun.
spark a conversation with anybody, and they'll show you around.
Is that where you're from?
Minneapolis? No, no, but I find myself being there quite often. Funny enough, before I even started this whole creative career thing, I found myself in Minneapolis 3 different times in a 6 month span for 3 separate occasions. And I'm like, man, I'm just here a lot. And I started doing traditional things in Minneapolis. Like I have a go-to comic book store now. Um,
Ooh.
and I stop there every time I'm in Minneapolis, and yeah, I'm starting to know the architecture or where I'm at, which is how often I've probably been there 12 times in the last 4 years at this point. So,
We've never
um,
been there.
where are you guys from?
We're in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah, a little bit far from Minneapolis, but I've been
Yeah.
to I've been to Pennsylvania once, and that was just a drive through it. We were heading to New York City, but very, you know, how I would describe that trip was it looked all the same going from Iowa through Illinois, through Indiana,
Space has to step out for a
Ohio,
sec.
and then once you got to Pennsylvania, it's like the whole place just changed, and so a lot of beautiful geography, I must say, over in Pennsylvania.
I I do have one more question before we get to the you know plot. I also
Yeah, no problem.
cited a different short film, if I'm correct in the pronunciation, called Peacemaker. Is there anything you end up majorly learning in the process of filming that?
So, that I have a love-hate relationship with. Um, that was technically my second short film, but all in all, really my first one that wasn't a school project. Um, I did not write that one. There's a lot of things that I disagreed with in the writing in that film. And lo and behold, I watched the finished product and the ending is completely missing. And it was just an absolute train wreck of a production. We had a good time shooting it. We had a good time with the actors. 100% of those actors would work with me again. 100% of the crew would work with me again because we had such a good time making it. Um, but as that was like my first official directorial project with people that weren't classmates of mine, um, I'd say that I'd probably put my foot down on a couple things a little bit harder since then because there was a lot of things that just didn't really work out in the fact of that. Um, but um, Yeah, a lot of mistakes happened in that process. We were just trying to make a short film for the sake of being able to. And so, we came away, we walked away saying it got done. And, there's a whole half of the industry, which is getting done the things you say you're going to get done. So there's a whole principle in that. Now that we've established that, then we can make better things slightly like marketplace.
So it's more of a yay, it's done. We all survived. Let's never look back at that again, though.
Something like that. I tell you what, we had a lot of missing footage in that one. And not having an ending to it really really stings, but I don't know, maybe that's something that I'll throw a slub the subplot on the website for or something. I don't know.
With Bray Wyatt having the bad thing with is my brain almost like formulates into almost like files or like this storyline situation. But when it comes to Bray, between like the different versions of cult leader Bray, the different version, the Fun House, what was your favorite of his storyline sections.
So, ironically, um, and I'll explain why I use the word ironically here soon, but it is the Bayou cult leader character that is my favorite. And the reason why it's ironic is because when we were introduced to Bray Wyatt as fans, I was 13, I was 12, 13, 14 years old. And that was still in the era
That's
of
our dog, not
anybody.
the construction.
Yeah. um, as I was in that era, anybody who messed with John Cena, I hated. I hated them so much, right? I did not like the Nexus. I did not like CM Punk. I did not like Bray Wyatt because they all messed with my boy John Cena at the time. And then lo and behold, fast forward, I look back and I'm like, man, that Bayou cult leader character was absolutely genius. And yeah, I was there for the ride with the Fiend stuff. I was there for the ride with coming back, introducing the Uncle Howdy stuff and the Wyatt Six stuff. But something that I truly wish I relived to appreciate was definitely the Bayou cult leader Bray.
Sadly, like as you know from when I was mentioning getting into wrestling, I was like 2020 Funhouse. That's where my like timeline starts, where it's like, okay, now let's rewatch everything, and I binged like all of the cult leader stuff so fast that I'm like, okay, now we have no more to watch because we just rewatched that so many times. But one of my favorites is his. People probably think it's goofier, but his stuff with Woken, Broken Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, now that's actually the era of his career that I know the least of, which is his tag team era with Matt Hardy. I do look at that, and I see, the deleter of worlds, stuff like that, um, and I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't really know too much of that. That might be one of the few cracks that I couldn't tell you much about. But I'm glad that you found appreciation in that. What makes you like that one so much?
Because I like both of their character types. Because I was also. Because the timeline for me was weird, where it was like, okay, we've watched about a good chunk of Bray stuff. Okay, I found these other characters because originally I watched the Broken Matt Hardy stuff because I started watching Rosemary and Decay and all this stuff and found that, and then kind of somehow created the eternal loop of going, oh, welcome Matt Hardy, and then ending up back at Bray Wyatt stuff. So it's just the eternal figure eight.
Okay. Yeah, I ought to look into that a little bit more.
Because because honestly, I wish deeply that Bray. Like I know WWE's doing the crossover now, like had some moment of crossing paths with like Rosemary, because that would have been interesting. Or any member of Decay, because I remember at a certain point when people were theorizing like, oh, what wrestler could be Sister Abigail? They want Rosemary.
I'd have to
Oh,
look into Rosemary. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar.
that's cool. How long does it take for you to make your movies?
So as far as short films go, um, it's funny, I look back and pretty quick. Um,
Cool.
I spend maybe like a month and a half on the short film script. And then I revise that until we finally get to shooting for it, which is, you know, depending on when people can do that, might take a long time or a short time, which is like, you know how hard it is getting everybody to agree on a certain day or several days even. Um, how I used to do it, uh, I obviously can't do it in feature film format, but in short film format, we would shoot for why am I showing up for? Uh, 7 days,
Mhm.
and I would go through the script and I would color coordinate the script through a rainbow. We would have red day, orange day, yellow day, and so on, and then those days we would look at the parts of the script that would be highlighted in the coordinating color. Um, and essentially we would just record for a solid week, and then we would take a look, put things together, and then maybe do some reshoots like a month or so later. Um, and Yeah, so I'd say from the writing process to the filming process, 3 to 4 months, and then post production, add like another four. So about 8 months for a short film.
Do you do all your own editing?
So my strong suit is the writing process. That's the thing that I can control the most is, you know, even if this goes wrong and this goes wrong and this goes wrong, I can make the writing as best I can. It goes to what John Cena says, control the controllable. I suck at editing. I am terrible at editing. I have no patience for it. I am not technically sound in that aspect, at least on the film level. And so I
Mhm.
definitely delegate that to other people. And the best I can do is sit in the room and they ask me what I want, and I could tell them what I want, but they're the one with the technical know how to actually execute that.
What led to like let's get to the questions you were probably more expecting. What led to making a Bray Wyatt inspired movie?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Also, I expect any and all questions. I'm glad to be here, Sammy.
I think
Um,
he looks like Bray Wyatt. Still in the
yeah, a lot of people
eyes.
say that. A lot of people say
Especially in
that.
the eyes. I can
I appreciate
believe
that.
it.
Um, and so what brought me to making such a thing? So I remember, now this was before I was filmmaking anything, right? Um, I was at rock bottom essentially, a step above homeless, living in my buddy's basement because I was trying to go to the military and all this stuff, right? Which, fast forward to today, did not happen. Probably a good thing in hindsight, but um, ever since like I saw people talking on social media, they need to make a movie about Bray Wyatt. They need to make a movie about Bray Wyatt, whether it's the Bayou cult leader character or it's the Fiend. His character deserves a movie. They made a movie about Kane. Why not a movie about Bray Wyatt? And fast forward to today, and there is still no Bray Wyatt movie. But I will say, upon my own little research, Bray Wyatt and Jason Baker, his friend who makes those masks for him, they were actually uh, in the middle of trying to make a movie that was inspired by, uh, well, it was supposed to be, I don't know, maybe canon because they were allowed to use WWE product, for the Fiend. And there was some inspirations from like Itchy the Clown or no, Itchy the Killer and stuff like that. But what brought me to doing it was just the very logistic of if we build it, they will come. This is
We
the
will.
the Iowa
Definitely.
boy. Yeah, yeah. Like there's so many people wanting something like this, and there's something in my heart feeling like I've been a Bray Wyatt fan for so long. I just so happen to make movies. Why not, within the powers that I'm capable of, make something at least second best to that? Because I can't make a legitimate Bray Wyatt movie, but I can make something from the heart that shows how much I love Bray Wyatt. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it because if we build it, they will come. That's been the mantra for the longest time now. So
Can Can you tell us what genre the movie will be? Or will that spoil too much, or did I manage to miss something in research?
Oh, no, 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 no. It's okay. I don't expect anybody to go, well, I still got to record my daily post. I don't expect anybody to go through all 53 videos that is the daily posts, because it's getting to the point where it probably will take an hour to watch all of those. Um, but uh in one of those days, I even forget which day, really. Um, the genre will be a psychological thriller. Um,
Ooh.
I didn't want to go full horror because I think full horror gets a little bit distracted in the goriness of it all. And if I felt like if I had put the word thriller on it, people were going to be expecting more than what there is. There are going to be people that we unfortunately see take their last breath. There's going to be dark sides to it, right?
Mm.
Fully embracing, because here's the thing about Bray Wyatt, maybe in comparison to the Undertaker. The Undertaker was very in your face. Oh, I'm ghoulish. I'm a dead man. Blah blah blah. Right. But like, if you read between the lines of a lot of Bray Wyatt's promos, Bray Wyatt, this is even more impressive because this was during the PG era. The subliminal messaging of a lot of stuff that he was talking about was super dark, you know? And I want to create really dark stuff, not in your face, blood and gore, but stuff that makes you think as much as it makes you dread, you know? And so, yeah, the psychological thriller is definitely the right choice in my mind.
Well, some of my questions are more now like, is this thing gonna end up being referenced, or this? Will the fireflies be referenced? You knew
Absolutely.
I had to ask.
The Fireflies will absolutely be referenced.
Is there? I do have some more questions, but Smooch, you mentioned having a question you wanted to ask.
Are you gonna start the movie when he's a baby?
No, no, no. Um, I actually I take pride in my writing style being like James Gunn. Um, and James Gunn, he probably takes pride in his writing style being like a little bit like Star Wars.
Right?
And it's the fact that a lot of their stories start in the middle of their story where things are
Mm.
already happening, right? Um, And so, no, we are not going to start. We're not making any like origin stories or anything. Literally, the movie will start with the first scene, which is one of these hillbillies are running from the cops. They run into the woods. That cop gets lost in the woods. And then, there's a lot of
Cool.
spirituality around the woods, you know, man in the
Uh,
woods, stuff like that makes you do things unlike yourself, and then we're gonna get a real good peek at what's to come. And so, yeah, it's gonna start with everybody fully grown, and the movie, contrary to popular belief, um, even though not a lot of people know about this movie, but I just know that the immediate assumed thing about this movie is that this movie is going to circulate Bray Wyatt's inspired character, which it does not. Bray Wyatt's inspired character, I will tell you now, his name is Rain Sutton.
Ooh.
He's actually the antagonist of this story. Our
Ooh.
hero of this story is actually a young detective taking on her first big case,
Hmm.
and some people are going to be disappointed that he's not the main character. Some people are going to understand that he's a better antagonist role, you know. But that's where I am on it.
you're when you were explaining the opening scene, I'm not sure if you remember back to these promos. Is right when we first saw the compound. It made me think of those ones where you would see the camera guy going up, and you see him talking to some people in the woods, like, "Oh, where's the wife?" everyone looking at him like, yeah, we're not gonna see this dude again.
So I'm glad that you bring that up. You know, the introduction to the Wyatt family. I've actually watched that a million times in the writing process of this. Um, I stylistically plan on the camera work being mostly taken in third person. And then every so often throughout the movie, I want it to be in first person perspective, exactly like that promo. And it's going to be a little homage to it, but also it's going to be a little bit immersive cinematically if we do it like that.
Ooh, I definitely.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this. I'm so excited.
It's going to take a long time, but I'm really glad that you're excited. Me too. Me too.
Another question I have is, will there be any indie wrestlers in this film?
Yes. Yes,
Hmm,
there will.
Cool.
and well, because a lot of these questions end up being, will this be referenced?
Oh,
Will there
yeah.
be
Go right ahead.
references to wrestlers that Braid interacted with but are outside of the White family?
So, hmm. Yes and no. Obviously, there's going to be stronger references to wrestlers than other references to other wrestlers. And the stronger the reference, the more closely he worked with them. There's going to be Daniel Bryan references. There's going to be
Hmm.
Randy Orton references. There's going to be Sister Abigail references, Nikki
Yay.
Cross, Alexa Bliss, um, and even a little bit of Wyatt Six. Now, see, I'm not watching a lot of Wyatt Six right now, but even then, we're going to reference them just a little bit. I'd say we have the smallest smidgen. Like you'll have to be on the lookout for it. Reference of John Cena, but I don't know if I've referenced anybody that did not work with Bray Wyatt, as everything has to be connected to him.
Do not make it. We'll have to be able to see if we can see it. He's trying to reference the John Cena Easter egg thing.
Yeah, be on the lookout for it. Tell you what.
If you don't mind me circling back, because I managed to rush way over myself, are you able to say which indie wrestlers may be in the film, or are you not
Not
able to at
yet.
this time?
Not yet. I actually plan on getting with him in April, and the reveal will be in one of my daily posts when we hang out and put together a few things. And yeah, that week we plan on probably doing quite a few media post projects just to get the hype, excuse me, just to get the hype around it a little bit for him. But I do know that once we get his name on it, uh, a lot more people will start paying attention. The way I see it is once this gets the attention of the wrestling community as a whole, we will have no problem getting the support monetarily and motivationally. And yeah, it's going to be a home run with him.
Yay. Is his brother in it?
Ooh, Bo Dallas. No, I fear that anybody under a WWE contract cannot do independent work outside of it. Um, you know, doing this daily post thing, you've met a lot of interesting people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, such as yourself, Sammy. Um, but I ran into a guy just last week talking to me. He's like, "Hey, yeah, this and this." Like he wanted to give me some motivation and just doing the thing, right? Turns out when Bray Wyatt was not on contract with WWE, you know, he was Wyndham Rotunda, still is, obviously, forever. Um, but he said that he made a independent film and he was this close to having Wyndham as the killer in that film. Uh, and then he got picked up by WWE. And so, yeah, WWE has hard rules for what their wrestlers can and cannot do under contract. Being on screen for a guy like me is probably one of those things that they cannot do. So,
Okay.
How how many clues without spoiling anything are you able to give us when it comes to the plot?
mm. So you know what's really cool is I hate trailers. I hate trailers so much, right? Like I've always said, as long as they let me, all of my trailers will be me in front of a whiteboard giving you the gist, right? Because I don't like showing a lot of my work ahead of time. I don't like spoiling movies. I believe Marvel has ruined trailers and what they show in trailers. I once saw a trailer that like admitted like one of the biggest twists in the movie, and it's like, well, okay, that was going to probably be pretty important seeing that in real time, but you're just going to give us the twist in the trailer, okay? And so I feel like I know that you didn't ask about trailers. I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry.
I know.
Um,
No
I
worries.
know what you
but
mean, though.
Yes.
I will give you some things. I'm a huge advocate of having the people see it for when they see it. Um, which is
Agree.
why it's
Definitely.
it's really hard when people have these questions, even on the daily posts, which is, what's it about? What's it about? You know, what about this? What about that? And I mean, I guess what I can do is if you ask a little bit more specific questions, and I'll let you know if I'm free to answer that, or it's to be determined. You know, like what kind of Easter? Like I could tell you a lot of other references that are going to be in this film.
It,
Um, let's see. Well, I don't know. Outside of what wrestlers are already referenced, I don't know if I want to reference other things. Um, so yeah, I guess if you ask about the movie, I'll feel if I'm obliged to give you the whole spiel on it. But I will have an answer for everything.
Where will we be able to see it at?
This is a good question. So, uh, as of right now, there has been zero discussions on distribution, uh, at least in this phase of the production for it. But once we get done shooting in 2027, we will try to have it release in 2028 sometime, right? Uh, and I want this to be so you guys probably don't know about this theater chain, but it's called Fridley Theaters. Fridley Theaters is all over Iowa and then a few locations in the surrounding states in Iowa. Um, but I also want to do a big deal with B&B theaters, right? Um, I don't know if B&B theaters goes all the way out to Pennsylvania, but I want to work with that chain and I want to work with Fridley. But if there's enough hype around it, you know, movies like Good Boy and The Iron Lung,
I just
starting
had
out
to
as
reference that one.
right, yeah, starting out as independently made films. If something is proven to have enough hype, it is believed that bigger chains like AMC and Cinemark and Regal will pick up uh, movies that they believe will sell tickets. And truly, if everybody catches wind that a Bray Wyatt inspired movie is hitting the theaters and enough people make enough noise about it, it will be at such theaters. I do know that I definitely, when it comes to the furthest states that I want it to go to, I want it to show in places like Georgia, Ohio, Louisiana, because it's technically based in Louisiana. Um, and then maybe California and New York. I have some friends in New York that really want to see it. So it will release in theaters. But even if it does not come out in a theater anywhere close to you, we plan on selling physical copies in DVD and VHS and stuff like that. And yeah, it's probably going to be a huge headache for another day, but we will get that done the people will have a copy of this in their hands if they're incapable of seeing it in
Yay,
theaters.
because I really, 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 really want to see it.
Same. I do have a
I'm
question of, will the like Lily doll be referenced or the puppets in the funhouse be referenced?
um the Lily doll, surprisingly enough, did not make the rough draft of this script. Um, and as far as puppets go, it did not make the rough draft to this script. But references to those puppets, they did. Okay, we got literally a pig farm, and the biggest pig there is called Husky, you know? Um, and so yeah, they will be referenced. Good pointing out the doll for Alexa Bliss. I might have to incorporate that one just to be a little bit more fun with it. I don't know.
It to it is I know what you said before, but due to how I word this, I have no other way to word this. And is there anything as we're finishing up you need everybody who will watch this to know about the film Following the Buzzards?
Oh, can you repeat that question?
With because I only have this and like two more questions.
No problem.
Is there anything you need like everyone who's going to watch this to know about the film Following the Buzzards?
Mm. What is something that I want everybody to know upon watching? Okay. So this, while writing it, I tried my best to have a perfect balance between serving the wrestling fans and serving the film fans. Now, what I really hope for it not to be is like the XFL, which was a Vince McMahon idea back in the early 2000s. The problem about the XFL was that it was kind of for the pro wrestling fans, kind of for the football fans. And so, therefore, it was kind of for nobody because it was too entertainmenty for the football fans and too much of a sports game for the wrestling fans. And that's what I hope it to not be. Um, but truthfully, I want this to be a telling of someone who wants to take film seriously, but also is a huge wrestling fan. And so I do feel like I am blessed with that there is a huge crossover of wrestling fans who also love film, right? There's a lot of platforms that cover wrestling and movies, such as my own podcast and a lot of other, guys like Suplex and just, the Vibe guys and stuff like that. Hopefully I get lucky that I hit the niche of people who care about film and storytelling, but also will really appreciate the wrestling fandom of it all. Because I will admit there will be aspects where people who are not wrestling fans but love film, they're gonna see some parts where, oh, that looks like lazy writing, and it's gonna be like, well, that's because it's to serve these guys over here, the wrestling fans. It's like, oh, what kind of lazy writing? Some viper comes out of nowhere and attacks somebody. How convenient. But we know as wrestling fans, a viper that comes out of nowhere, stuff like that. And so there's going to be that balance. That's just what I want everybody to know ahead of time. That's a great question, by the way.
Cool.
Is it gonna be any Key to Fear or Cave of Fear, the one that inspired the gimmick that inspired Bray Wyatt's gimmick?
That
Here?
is a great question. So yes, the answer is yes, because you know, I love just throwing everything being interconnected in there, you know. It's actually the I made a mock-up cover for the poster, and what you probably saw once or twice going through my dailies. Um, the mock-up poster is actually kind of in reference to Cape Fear with the big eyes over the top. Um, and so I don't know if we'll continue with that as it's just a concept poster, but there will be a reference in some way. Not a lot, as you know, it's an adaptation off of an adaptation off of an adaptation at this point. But there will be at least one Cape Fear reference as yeah, that's a good movie to base your character off of, you know.
Then this question's more just because I seen that Tech Prom was getting like actual social media links into my bios of videos for this movie, other projects, and funding for your movie, and just your social medias in general.
Oh yeah,
Where's the
shameless
name where
plug that.
people can find them?
Yeah, no problem. So first things first, I encourage anybody that wants to donate, please, we'll take all the help that we can get. Go to theskaldstone.com / donate. That's the Skaldstone, skaldstone.com / donate. Uh, that's there's a lot of things that you can discover there, not just on the donation page, but also more about the film, looking on that page, or more about my shorts, as Sammy has also very cool found both of my short films prior to this, um, but also a lot of things like my podcast and all that stuff. But if you definitely want to just see me as the director, just look into the film stuff. But uh, actively, you know, where to find my daily posts that I keep mentioning during this is I try to keep it on all four platforms, which is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you want to give love to any of those, I encourage the YouTube most, because YouTube is where we can actually start making money if enough people support us there.
Definitely.
So on our YouTube, we are Skaldstone Productions, Skald Stone Productions. Um, on my Instagram, it's dot just Isaac. On or no, did I say Instagram? That's my TikTok. It's not just Isaac. And then Instagram is Scaldstone. And then Facebook's primarily just for like the friends and family and stuff like that. You know how Facebook goes. But if you do want to find me on Facebook, those daily posts are found under Isaac William Joseph. Um, but yeah, we do have a Scaldstone page on Facebook too. It's not very much used, but if you want to find us there, we're there too.
And as one final question, any advice for those just starting to chase their dreams?
Any advice for those chasing their dreams? Don't ask permission from anybody. Truly. If there's something that you want to do it. Okay? And then God will tell you whether or not you should keep trying, right?
Yeah,
Um
definitely.
genuinely. I there's so many people just waiting around, kicking rocks, waiting for some third party to tell them whether or not they should do things. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Everybody say hi to Jordan, my roommate.
Well,
You going to you going to work, buddy? Have a good one.
Bye!
he doesn't seem happy.
No, he's going to work. So most days he's not excited about going to work. But
No.
um yeah, I love that you ask about people chasing their dreams, because truly people are looking for permission or a sign to do it. The fact that it's an idea in your heart, in your mind, that you are thinking about doing it, that you're wanting to do it, that's enough sign for me to go and do it, right? And
Yeah,
so just
definitely.
do the dang thing is probably my best for advice for people chasing their dreams. Give it a try and be allowed to suck at it at first, but keep
Cool.
doing it.
I
Good advice.
I
Thank
want
you.
to thank you again for this interview.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. It's an honor. I feel like I'm not a big enough big shot to have an interview just yet, but you know, if cool things happen out of this, Sammy, you know, you'll have the flex of being able to say I was the first, you know?
And we did not think we were cool enough for anyone to say yes.
Nah, you guys are awesome. I love the whole vibe of this.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this was what, Smooch and Sammy and who?
Alright.
Alroy.
Elroy. Mhm.
Hey, thanks guys for having me.
Thank you.
Same to you for being on.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.